Hey everyone, in today's video we're going to be talking about how to improve your hit success rate when targeting small ships such as frigates when flying a battleship for your regular PvE. This is applicable to PvP as well if it happens to be part of your gameplay. Please bear in mind this video is for newer players or those that are less familiar with these mechanics. I will be avoiding going into the specific science of this particular mechanic, just to avoid boring you all. I'm pretty sure that there will be much more detailed explanations out there on YouTube because of the fact that most of this is inherited from EVE Online, which no doubt has a wealth of tutorials. But here, I'm going to give it to you nice and simple and explain roughly what you need to be doing to make sure that you hit those smaller targets. This might help you with getting your bounty ticks up when doing PvE, or getting out of a tough situation in PvP. But anyway, let's get on with the video, shall we? So, as you can see up on the screen at the moment, with my rather crude and rudimentary drawings, this is the scenario that you want to avoid, whereby no matter what, your turrets cannot track the enemy targets fast enough. Once they get too close to your ship and are moving too fast, your turrets will not be able to keep up with their movement. So that's what we're trying to avoid. So how can we do this? First and foremost, everybody's favourite option is going in at range. So you'll see that in PvE, quite popular at the moment, is the Apocalypse Striker and its now new big brother, the Apocalypse Navy issue. These particular ships are excellent at operating at range. So the idea here is you set your ship up as far away as you can from the enemy ships, whether that be PvP, PvE, doesn't matter. You set up your ship as far away as you can and line up those clean shots. In this scenario, you should have all of the enemy ships destroyed before they get under your guns, because they're moving towards you. As they're moving towards you, they're not moving left or right, and therefore your guns don't have to do any tracking whatsoever. In fact, their trajectory, more often than not, will line up perfectly with your guns, meaning that very little, if any, tracking will be required at all from your guns. But of course, what if you're not at range? Maybe you're caught in close quarters. So, of course, if you're in close quarters, again, PvE, doesn't matter. The first thing you need to do is activate your web of fire on your opponent. The purpose of the web of fire is to slow the enemy ship down. As soon as you've slowed that ship down, or if not before, you need to be trying to move away from the enemy ship. Now, of course, you're not always going to be going faster than your opponent, even when they're webified and you're running your afterburner or micro warp drive. Sometimes they will still be moving faster than you. But the point here is that you want to improve the chances of your guns being able to track and hit that target. If they're only moving 10 or 20% faster than you are after your propulsion module has been activated and your webs have been activated, if they're only moving 10 or 20%, the odds are your guns are going to be able to track that target and at least hit it on a semi-regular basis, which is more damage than you would have been doing before. Now, of course, all of this goes outside of your typical fitting advice, so it is worth on these ships, if you are concerned of enemy ships getting under your guns, the recommended add-ons to your fittings should essentially be webifiers. Fit maybe 2 of them if you're really that concerned. An afterburner. Some people might choose the micro warp drive, but if that small ship has you warp scrambled, that micro warp drive's not going to do anything. Me personally, I prefer the afterburner. So your propulsion mod and your webifiers. Next up, you've got your tracking computers, or targeting it'll be tracking computers. What these things do is they improve both the range and the tracking ability of your turrets. You can further improve its tracking ability with the general units that eliminate the range bonus, but again, that's a bit of a trade-off. And don't forget your skills. Always have a look at your skills because there are multiple skills for improving your tracking. On top of that, we have the nanocores. Of course, it's rather uncommon to get a tracking bonus as the primary attribute on your nanocores, but for secondary attributes, they're quite common. So I encourage you to go and invest wherever possible in improving your tracking if this is happening to you a lot and you're struggling to hit your targets. One other thing that's worth mentioning is drones. You may as well get your small drone skills up to say 540 or something similar, because those small drones are going to be what also helps you with hitting these small targets. But anyway, that's enough of a ramble. To do a quick recap before we end the video. Of course, we want to avoid the enemy ships being under our guns in moving faster than our guns can actually move to keep up with them. We can achieve this by either shooting from as far a range as possible. That range is dependent on the optimal range of our ship's guns. Or we can webify them and try to move away from them in a straight line as fast as we can using our prop mods. Me personally, when I do this with my bow gun, I tend to set the auto orbit to say 15 kilometers. If the small ship is trying to stay at under 5, then automatically, as my ship auto orbits, it will automatically move away from the ship and persistently try to move away from the ship no matter what position it's in. Of course, it's not perfect, but it does drastically improve the odds of me landing that hit. But anyway, that's the end of this particular video. If there are any other gameplay related videos that you would like explaining to you in a future tutorial, feel free to leave it in the comments section below. I'm not sure if veteran is the right word, but as a player who's been in the game since the 3rd week of the game's release, it's hard for me to know what tutorials new players need. So feel free to put it in the comment section below. If it's something that I have any level of knowledge about, I'll be sure to do a video on it. But of course, if you're looking for hardcore PvP advice, I'm probably not the man to go to there. But anyway, I'm going to stop the ramble again. I'm sure I've said that already. Thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next video.